As I'm sure many of you are already aware, shooting happened in Minneapolis recently, specifically yesterday, August 27, at approximately 8:30 a.m. local time. That basically two people or two children were killed, an 8 and 10-year-old, and also 17 others were injured, including 14 children and 3 seniors. But thankfully, at least they are expected to survive. Uh, this happened at a school mass at a church, and the shooter fired from outside through stained glass windows. The suspect was identified as a 23-year-old Robin Westman, formerly Robert Westman, a transgender woman who legally changed her name in 2020, and she also died by suicide at the scene. So you have the sort of classic thing, which they said that it's sort of a classic thing, but sort of like doing something like this and then taking themselves out. Now we are finding more about this person and sort of what kind of person they are and what basically inspired them. And one of the things that they have been doing is, or sort of that we know about them, is they hate Israel, which and hate the Jewish people themselves. You might see on the thumbnail there is a picture with, I think this was specifically a holster that said 6 million wasn't enough. Basically, I think their gun, their magazines, all of them had things written on them. And as I've said, many of them had anti-Israeli, but not just anti-Israeli. A lot of things were anti-Trump, anti-India for that matter, and just basically this sort of like unifying thing of, pure hatred. Uh, Somebody in the chat says Candace has already blamed Israel. Not even joking. I mean, this it wouldn't be surprising when it comes to Candace. This is the kind of thing we are seeing where we've covered. We did one episode on that basically 1 in 3 Americans believe that Jews, or it's the fault of Jews, basically the rise of the anti-Semitism and the crimes against Jews is a fault of Jews. So this is not unexpected to see that people are blaming these actions. Now, this specifically, of course, was targeting Christians, but yeah, there is sort of this unifying hatred, which I want to talk a little bit about this sort of like unifying theme. And of course, I want to talk, something I've mentioned, or I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this is, of course, the Ilhan Omar's district, the Minnesota's 5th district, which has elected Ilhan Omar with super majority. I think she's very popular there, and she has, of course, commented on this. And we'll play a short, I think like a 2-minute clip, although I'm not sure if we'll watch the whole thing. Um, we'll watch it where she does talk about it, but I think, as you would expect, misidentifies what really is the problem here. Bonnie in the chat says, it's so frustrating that the immediate solution to these tragedies by many is tighter gun laws, and yet that is something you'll hear from Ilhan Omar. And yeah, I think it's very misaligned. So as I've said, basically the firearms, the magazines, the holsters all had anti-India, anti-Israel, anti-Catholic, anti-Jewish, anti-current administration slogans, such as in total, I'll just read all of them. Nuke India, kill Donald Trump, kill Trump now, Israel must fall, burn Israel, 6 million wasn't enough, mashallah, where is your God? Filthy Zionist Jews, destroy HIAS or HIAS, and free Palestine. HIAS is a Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, which, as I understand, apparently it's sort of like a white supremacist or this sort of yeah, so sort of like white supremacist thing of basically accusing Jews of wanting to replace Western people or something like that. Generally, um, I don't think racist slogans should be that thought about. Uh, I believe she also had a smoke grenade with which said or had written on it Jew gas. So again, all of this, and I think they had videos online beforehand. I think there was a suicide note. I think there were a few sort of. I think they also had like a diary that was found out. So all of that is still being sort of looked into. But again, you had that sort of unifying both hatred, sort of like hate, and specifically admiration of past shooters, school shooters or other mass shooters. But I want to talk about something specifically, and uh, that is the sort of like unifying thing that it's always there's never just one thing, right? It's never that these people, and I'm thinking, I mean, this specifically is somebody you could consider on the left, right? But it's never that they just hate Trump or they just have problem with Israel, with the let's say the pro-Palestinian crowd, as we call them. It's not like they just care about this specific issue. It's always everything all together, right? Like this specific person was trans, and yeah, you had all of that, right? You had the Free Palestine, you had the and even when it comes to Free Palestine, right? It's not just that they want Palestine to be free or whatever, or that they just want the Israeli war to stop. No, it's united with specifically hatred for all Jews. I mean, just look at it, right? The filthy Zionist Jews, the I mean, even specifically saying mashallah, 6 million wasn't enough. Mashallah, I think it's Arabic, means something like God has willed it. Usually, I think is said after you do something that you wanna that you something that happened, and I think you want to thank God for it, or sort of you want to acknowledge that God had help in that. Um, so we are saying Israel, 6 million wasn't enough. Israel must fall, burn Israel. It's all of it together. And then even connected with the sort of like nuke India, right? Like I'm still like there was I'm not sure how long it was. I think it was a few months ago where there was something was going on between Pakistan and India, and there was a chance that it might go into something further. But as soon as it happened, everybody already had an opinion on it, right? Like it was this immediate. Now, me, I know very little about the Pakistan-Indian conflict, so I didn't really comment on. But the current culture is so tribalistic that people immediately sort of like have their own tribe. Like one side is Muslim, so obviously or automatically are on the Pakistan side. In Gaza, automatically on Gaza side. It doesn't matter that they are ruled by a terrorist organization, that they've elected a terrorist organization, that they are committing terrorist acts, that they are committing these terrible things. They are automatically with them just because they are Muslim. We have a super chat from Bonnie, a super chat from Ginger, and a super chat from Gail. Thank you so much. Paul is asking what is she. I mean, if you're asking specifically like who was this person, so we are still finding out. But yeah, somebody with obviously very disturbed person and with a deep hatred for these specific groups. And again, it's a unifying group. It's specifically sort of Christian, Jewish, the current administration, basically anything that is viewed as like anti-Muslim. I don't want to call it that, but sort of like on the opposite side or on that other side. Like this is the thing, right? It's the other side. This is the focus on the other side, and whatever that other side is, this is what we hate. This is what she is focusing on. Uh, he hate the Christians. How does an attack on Catholic school relate to the Jews? Did I miss something? I just got here. So again, this person, from the equipment that was found on her, she had slogans like 6 million wasn't enough, Israel must fall, burn Israel, filthy Zionist Jews, destroy. And I think, I'm not sure if I've written it, but I've also written in either, so trans woman, so a man that has transitioned into a woman. Now that is, if you accept the idea of transitioning, which I think is a bit problematic to say the least, but it's not the focus on today's topic, so I don't want to hamper on it too much. But, but yeah, another thing was sort of like hatred of India. I think they've said something like, basically they wanted to kill Jews or they wanted to kill politicians, and this is just what it escalated into, specifically targeting Christians. But it could very likely have been, if it was, I think if she had a chance to sort of like try to kill politicians or try to kill Jewish people, I think she would have done so. I think the mayor of Minneapolis is a Jewish person, so I'm sure if something could have also happened there. So yeah, just general this amount of like tribalism, like you cannot just hate Trump, you cannot just hate Israel, you cannot just dislike specific policies. It's all encompassing, it's all unifying, it all has to be together. This is the sort of tribalism we are at. And this is what I think is really making sort of like any conversation, any sort of this unifying thing impossible, right? It's demonizing on the other side. It's basically, making Bonnie says she was a poster boy for nihilism. I mean, I think we have more and more of this, even specifically when it comes to Israel. I mean, we talked about Aaron Bushnell, the former soldier who set himself on fire to sort of protest the war in Gaza. I think that is even more nihilistic. It's like like basically killing yourself basically over nothing. Like setting yourself on fire is not going to solve anything. It's not going to bring awareness to anything. You are simply, I mean, that was a terrible person. So extinguishing your life, and sorry for the pun, but like basically ending your life for nothing, or not even nothing, for the wrong cause. And yeah, I'm not sure if it was specifically, it was like a school mass at the church. So it was mainly children, which is what is really sad about this, or sort of more sad. And as I've said, 2 children did die from it, and 17 have had injuries, but unless something changed, will survive. So thanks. Let's hope for that. Uh, with that, let's actually move into something that I mentioned earlier, and it's the fact that this is Ilhan Omar's district. Now, we have talked about her in the past. She's somebody that has been very anti-Israel, and I think very pro-Hamas, I would even say. The fact that somebody like that is in Congress is very scary, to say the least. But she was elected by this congressional district. But let's listen a little bit from her. Well, I'll first, before we go, because I think the video I'll play, that was like a little bit after. I think this was the night off. So I think the day off, she was already there. She was talking about, this is unspeakable horror, tragedy, and she was doing, sort of the classic thing you would expect, right? Like this horrible thing that has happened. But this is what she said sort of afterwards.
I mean, that is a question that we've asked ourselves when Columbine happened back when I was in high school. We've asked ourselves that question when we saw little babies being slaughtered in Sandy Hook. We continue to ask ourselves that question. What I can tell you is that we collectively have a solution. We know that when we allow as a country for guns to be accessible to people in the easy way that it is in the United States, we continue to have these kind of tragedies. When we do not collectively as a community in the United States address mental health illness, when we don't see these children and communities that are impacted and, you know, look for signs that tell us there is something wrong. We know that the assailant in this tragedy had a YouTube page where he was posting, you know, documenting the kind of insanity that unfolded today. Somebody saw that. And what we want to change is our perspective. We want to be able to become a country that sees images like that and alerts someone. Because if that would have happened today, two beautiful angels would still be with us. A whole community would not be devastated, and these families would still have their loved ones going home to them tonight.
Yeah, you just can't even imagine what those parents are feeling tonight. And as you noted, I mean, it's every parent's worst nightmare. And when you look at this in terms of...
So again, she's doing the classic, I guess the classic Democrat thing, or sort of blaming the gun laws. Again, whatever, people who are so far gone that they want to go and kill, I mean, their fellow man. They want to kill other people. They want, not just other people, specifically, I mean, kill children even. I mean, that's so, you must be so far gone that I think it doesn't matter if you have access to gun, if you have access to bombs, or if you have access to absolutely nothing. People who want to do something like this, there is something that has already have gotten so terribly wrong that I don't think it can be simply solved. And this is like hiding behind, you know, if we just take the guns away, you know, it will be solved. Like, no, there's something going on that if people are so, as I said, so far gone that they want to go and like murder people, again, like all of what she has said were like political things. This is like politically motivated. This is domestic terrorism. We have a super chat from Shauna. Thank you so much. She says, the India thing isn't surprising because Islamo-communism also hates India. India is very pro-Israel. I've seen India called colonizers by Muslims. I think, yeah, this is the sort of, I'm not sure to what extent India is sort of like this really pro-Israel, but it's definitely not anti-Israeli, and maybe that's more the focus than anything else. But yeah, there is this tribalistic thing of like, yeah, you're either with us or you're against us, and if you're against us, you will deserve the hatred on in absolutely the same way. So yeah, again, sort of trying to focus on this as this is like a gun issue, or this is the problem here is yeah, the access to guns is so misaligned. And again, Ilhan Omar, she has fueled this. She has fueled the Israeli hatred. The hatred of Israel is part of this. The hatred of Christians is part of this. You cannot now hide and say this is a gun problem when somebody like Ilhan Omar has been, you know, this whole time, almost since October 7th. I think the week after or within a week, she was calling for basically for Israel to surrender. Which, what does that say if you have Palestinians committing October 7th, going into Israel, taking hostages, raping women, raping everybody, taking children hostages, taking less than 1-year-olds as hostages, and then calling for Israel to not do anything about this? What does that say? What kind of thing does that inspire in people who are following her? In people who are in her congressional district? Again, I don't think this is sort of an accident that this specifically happened in her district. It's the culture that gives rise to somebody like Ilhan Omar is a culture that gives rise to this kind of hatred. And again, I don't think you can simply hide behind, maybe if we just take these rights away, maybe if we just get rid of the Second Amendment, somehow this will be fixed. Um, Ginger says they say they'll do anything to fix this problem, anything but teaching logic and reason. I mean, absolutely. Like these people, they cannot find a solution because they are part of the problem. They are inspiring this hatred. They are the ones who are fueling this kind of hatred. Uh, and this hatred is spreading. I mean, I've just to go into past, like Aaron Bushnell, uh, uh I cannot remember all of these guys' name, but Aaron Bushnell, the guy who set himself on fire, the guy who killed the United Health CEO, the guy who murdered the Jewish couple in Washington D.C. I think was it Colorado Springs person who also committed a domestic terrorist act, and now this guy, or this woman, all of them are celebrated by these crowds. I think I've been a little bit on X and Reddit, and they are celebrated. You see things like, well, they're Christians. Who cares? They are, they have started this hatred. So, what does it matter if some rich people lose their children? What have we heard in the United Health? Right? It's somebody was denied access or somebody was denied their claim. So that makes it okay to kill CEOs. That makes it okay to kill rich people. Uh, this is uh, this is a scary situation to be. Once murder starts getting accepted because of something outside, murder is okay because they are rich. Murder is okay because they are Christian. Murder is okay because they are Jews that are supposedly committing genocide. So that gives you the right to go after every single Jewish person in the world and give it to them. Um, that's what makes it scary. That's what makes it sort of hard to really solve. And because the thought leaders are not pushing against it, right? It's this starts at the universities, and nobody is pushing against these ideas at the universities. The the students doing um, that have been doing this have started the campus intifada. Again, remember, these attacks targeting Jewish people haven't started immediately after October 7th. They've only started happening, I think, this year or even later last year. Yeah, I think it was about that time. So it took a little bit. It started with simply demonizing Jewish people, right? People like cannot remember his name, but one professor at the university not being allowed to go into university because he was Jewish, stopping Jewish people from accessing library in those universities or other things, excluding them from certain activities, excluding them as sort of like otherism. This is how it starts. First, it starts with hatred, demonizing, and basically making them as the bad guys. And then eventually it will go into killing them. Again, I don't want to overuse the 30s Germany comparison, but it's not like Hitler took office and he deported people into concentration camps, which weren't even concentration camps from the start. They started as worker camps and turned into. It's not like that went from one day to the other. It started with things like Kristallnacht, or even then, it started with general anti-Semitism in the culture. Then thank you, Gilio says, Shai Davidai, thank you so much. He was the professor that was denied access at Columbia University. It starts with general anti-Semitism in a culture, then hatred, then looking the other way when crimes against Jewish people happen, and eventually turns into government sanctioned killing of Jews. So again, that's a scary part of it. And when it comes to sort of solution, I think there are two faults. One, I think the intellectuals have to realize that this is the culture that they are supporting right now. And unless people, and well, it's sort of twofold. People have to realize that this is that no, people know this is not okay, but people have to realize what supports this, and it's this demonizing of Israel itself. Because if one Jewish nation that is on the earth is being demonized on the world stage, it has to turn into specific people. It has to turn into this racist hatred of the Jewish people themselves. Well, with that, this wasn't a very happy episode. They haven't been really recently, but today especially. But we'll continue definitely covering this as well as we only have one show today, but tomorrow we'll be back with both shows, so both the Daily Objective and the reality show. So make sure to join us for that. We might continue covering this if more comes to light, but hopefully hopefully we won't see more of this, but sad when it happens. With that, thank you guys for joining me. I think I've read everybody's super chat. So again, thank you everybody for your support. Thank you guys for joining me today. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Daily Objective and the reality show. Until then, bye bye.